Hello, thank you very much for tuning in to this section of reads. This should be on YouTube channel James 13 Wicca in case you're seeing it somewhere else. The stuff like the cards and the dice, those details will be below, somewhere below. Besides that, if you'd like a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into your reading. Hello, Gemini. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Gemini? This didn't work out. It's either it didn't work out the way I wanted or literally the way I thought it was. Gemini sees a lot of angles. You can see a lot of possibilities, but it might be one of those things where I just didn't see that coming. That's saying a lot for Gemini. That's saying a lot because you guys see a lot of different angles. So let's go. I'm not sure if that's exactly it. Either I didn't want it to work out the way it did, or possibly I didn't see that coming. Possible. I don't know, because I think Gemini see a lot. There's a lot. You can usually when something happens, you're like, well, I can understand how that happened. Usually you guys can understand how it got where it got. Usually. I think. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. Given the proper information, obviously. Eight of Cups. I thought somebody was out of the way. I thought somebody was out of the way. This reminds me of when somebody leaves a job, like they literally go to a different job, and you're thinking, well, they're not going to be a problem anymore. And then they show up to the company parties and the Friday mixers, you know what I mean? They just keep showing up, and they actually have a lot of ties to the people still at the company. It's kind of what I keep kind of seeing that here. But this might be one of those things where they still have the ties, but you're not aware of it. So it's almost like if we're going to add another level to this, somebody leaves the job, you're like, okay, they're gone. I don't see them anymore. You, as in Gemini, don't see them anymore, don't hear about them anymore. Meanwhile, they're still, going to birthday parties and events and doing this and all this other stuff behind the scenes that you're just not privy to. They're still connected with this group of people. You're just not seeing it. Because somebody all of a sudden just kind of went. Somebody disconnected, and it seems like, well, they shouldn't be a problem anymore. But I'm getting like, if this reading is hitting correctly, right out of nowhere, boom, they're clearly still connected. Somehow, they might even be coming back into the situation, and I was completely not expecting that. Is that right? I just feel like something is showing up, and either I didn't think that was going to happen, I didn't want that to happen, or I really didn't see it coming. You might not, I know you're Gemini and you see a lot, but you're human like the rest of us. Of course, you're not going to see every little thing. I don't know why I always think you guys are seeing all the angles, but you see a lot of the angles. Coming forward, even though I feel like I don't like this moment, it does open up a lot of possibilities for you. This is very hot, cold. That's definitely a Gemini thing. It can be very good and very not good at the same time. And I feel like that's what's happening here. You're learning something really fast. And there's a lot. This is a card of like reading between the lines sometimes. Different readers have different ways of reading the cards. I see this as a highly intellectual possibilities coming from what you've learned, creating something where other people can't see the possibility. That's a big piece of this card for me. It can be Aquarius energy, doesn't have to be. The Ace of Cups, like, even though it's like hot cold, it's hot cold at the same time. It's kind of like part of this, don't like it at all. But what I've learned from it, maybe I love that. Maybe I love that. I think I hate it and I love it at the same time. I think I do. Somebody is giving to you. This is weird. This feels strange. Like somebody's giving to you. And you know, just because somebody gives us something, and I'm a Pisces, I'm not a Gemini, but just because somebody gives you something doesn't mean you wanted it. But sometimes you kind of just go like, oh, thank you. You know, this might be one of those moments. Oh, thank you. Yeah. It's like somebody giving me a liver and onion sandwich. I'm like, oh, it's nice to be thought of. Not eating this, but it's nice to be thought of. At least I wouldn't eat it. The Lover's card reversed. The Lover's card is your card, but it's reversed. Somebody's giving that liver and onion sandwich. I feel like hit dead on, and I didn't realize that when I said it. Somebody's giving something to you. They're trying to include you. I don't like it. Whatever they're giving you, it's a liver and onion sandwich. Unless you like that, you're getting something you don't want, but feel like it's like somebody like handing me like, oh, here, we're including you in the group. We brought you something to eat too, liver and onion sandwich, and I'm like, oh, thanks so much. Like flat out liver. Ugh, gross. I hate it. It's so bad. Yes, I'm jaded with that. That's happening. This is coming in, saying it's a blessing in disguise. There's a lot of good things here, but you're not liking this. This is not your flavor. Literally, oh, gross. So gross. There's a gift with this beyond this situation. They're showing this. You're ready for something else or something more. It says something more, but it might be you might be ready for something else. This is creating a moment for you. When this happens, you're going to think about it either way. This is going to keep you stuck. It's almost like accepting the situation and just kind of like mulling over what's happened and what's possibly coming next. This is a forward-thinking card, the way I'm looking at it. That's actually going to hold you back, ironically. This is a forward thing. In this reading, I'm an intuitive reader, and I'm getting forward energy, like looking towards like where this is going. Ironic, because that flashlight is like, what's coming next? What do I have to keep an eye out for? That's a forward-thinking card I keep getting. And they're saying, ironically, in this situation, not working for you, not working to your benefit. Which I feel like you're easily going to realize that what I'm going to say next. The history of this, the Six of Cups is looking at what is this situation? How did I get here? What are people doing? What am I doing here? Is this my end game? Is this my end game? Stepping into the spotlight might be you putting yourself in the spotlight in the sense of like, what am I doing here? Why am I here? Do I want to be here? If I don't want to be here, where do I want to be? Okay. That is for you to decide. Looking backwards, looking at the history of this situation, answering those questions for yourself, you can find possibility. It's usually not too hard for Gemini to find possibilities. It's probability. how does probability match up with possibility? And are you willing to move forward on it? Right? Where do we go? All this together? Okay. So how does this marry together? Have you been stuck? If you're looking at it in this angle, have you been stuck in this situation? Has it actually been holding you back? Have I been living in the mud and just thinking this is where I'm supposed to be? One thing working to your benefit is the moon with the... There's more to learn out there, and you're the one to find it. You're not one just to find the library. You're the one to find the library that has the content you need, and then to get into that library and start searching out what you want. So it's not just like, if you're looking at like, I don't know, like a country, X amount of libraries, you're not the one just to go, oh, there's libraries all over the place. No. You're going to be like, wait, this is the subject, this is the type of information. Which one of these libraries not only has that, but has the most information, the most beneficial information? Not just the most, but the most beneficial information that I need. And how do I get to it? And you'll be able to unearth it. You'll see through this and you'll find what you need to find. Through research, you'll be able to solve this mystery. I think of Geminis as great mystery solvers. Am I right or am I wrong? Let me know in the comments. This is where your abundance comes in. What does that actually say? Welcome abundance into your life. Abundance. When you look at it, looking in the rear view, where have I been? How did I get here? Why am I putting up with this? You'll know what you want to do. It's all about moving it forward. I don't see that being hard for you to move forward on this. I don't see that hard for you at all. It's just about seeing it for what you need to see. And when you see it for what it is, I feel like that's going to change your whole relation to the situation, and you'll start making decisions. I just feel like I can't do this anymore like this. Once I see it in the proper perspective, I'm like, I can't do this anymore. It's time to make changes. It's time to go towards my value, what I want from this situation. And it seems to happen, it starts very easily, ironically. It's just, it feels like I gotta do what I gotta do. And it starts pretty quickly. It's not big decisions. I don't feel like these are big decisions, but they lead into big decisions. So I'm trying to get an analogy. It's like getting in the car is the small decision. Getting and putting fuel in the car is a small decision. Deciding you're going to go to a city that's an hour away, that's a little bit bigger. Deciding that, I'm going to move to that city, that's a much bigger. It's like it's going to keep, these small decisions are just going to start building until it's like, I'm where I need to go. If I was going to use a job analogy, it might be like finding like, okay, this isn't the company I want to be at. This other company is. And then just kind of like the small decision, let me look at their website. The next small decision, you know what, there's a couple jobs here, let me apply for them. The next small decision, might as well go through the interview process. And then it's going to be like, oh, I got the job. I'm going to have to move if I take this job. And then it's just kind of like, I don't want to give this up. So I guess here I go. And then there we go. It's going to, like, small decisions leading into big decisions. I hope that makes sense. Hopefully it makes sense. It doesn't take as long as you think. Empress with its almost over is the last couple cards here. Once you're involved, like, say, if we're going to use that analogy of the job, it's like once you get the job and you're like, you realize you got to move, it doesn't take as long as you think. That time passes quicker than you expected. And it's like before you know it, you're like already in the new job, already situated in a new living situation, already got it all together, already making new acquaintances and friends and whatever. It's just, it all happened really, it seems like when I look back, it's like it took me 2 years to do it, but it seemed like it flew right by. Because you're probably really busy through the whole thing. It's interesting how that ends. I feel like this is talking about a situation that if I'm connecting to it, just like stepping back and just looking at it from the outside, it's a situation I thought got better, and then I'm realizing not really. And then I feel like whatever behavior I didn't like back in the past comes back. That's supposed to be the point where I look like, wait a minute, what's been going on? What has been going on in this situation, and why am I putting up with it? Versus like looking like, how do I deal with the next incident? Yeah, it reminds me of like dealing with a bully a little bit, honestly. It's kind of like, do I just accept this and just get ready for do I hide my lunch? Do I hide behind this bridge? Like, how do I keep the bully from bothering me is the natural way to go? Versus like, wait a minute, why has this bully been bothering me? What triggers this bully to come be my issue? Is there another way to handle this bully? Why am I putting up with this? How long have I been putting up with this? Do I plan to put up with this for the rest of my life? That type of energy. And then the doors start opening, and it's kind of like I start looking at things like if you're looking to divorce somebody, for example, I start looking at places to live, different jobs to take, ways I can take care of myself, ways I can get, like, getting a divorce lawyer. Next thing I know, I've submitted the paperwork, I've served my partner the papers, or they've been served the papers, and here we are, off and running. It just seems to like take its own life. By looking at it in the proper perspective, it just seems to trigger you to like change what's going on here and take it from something that you don't like and rearrange the whole situation to something that you can not only live with but enjoy. For some of you, I feel like you've been putting up with something way too long. Way too long. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.